So when was the last time you asked yourself what you really want for your life? And when was the last time you actually listened to your response? I have a theory that we're all guilty of pushing aside our hopes and dreams for later, for when we're ready, for when we have the time. And that by doing so, we're writing ourselves out of the narrative of our own lives, too afraid to go after what we most want and preferring to hand over the reins to external circumstances, to fate, or to chance. Of course, we'll never have control over everything, and to be honest, I really wouldn't want to, but like with most things, there's probably a healthy balance to be found, and by choosing to let go of any control over our lives, I think we're doing ourselves a bit of a disservice. Wouldn't it be better to take the reins and steer ourselves towards where we actually want to go? In this video, I'm writing a letter to my future self to better connect with her and see what she most wants for her future, to see if I can align myself better with where I want to head. I hope this video can spur you on to do the same thing and to write yourself a letter to your future self and see what comes up. Dear future me, I recently tapped into my past self and created a bit of a link between my past version of myself a year ago and the current version of myself now. So I thought it'd be fun to bridge the gap between current me, age 24, and future me, age 25. It feels like a really solid way to figure out what I should do next and create a little window in time between two different versions of myself. The last year of my life has involved a lot of setting up, moving to London, starting a new job, moving house, building roots, routines and favourite pastimes, and now I'm in such a good place and feel the same sort of stability that I did during my third and fourth years of uni, which were times when I felt really connected to who I was and pretty happy, all things considered. And so while the first year of living in London has been setting up and really laying those solid foundations, I would really like the second year of my London chapter to be one of growth and expansion. I really want to dream big for what I can achieve and the sort of person that I want to become in the next year, and this is me sort of exploring that and figuring out what that looks like. To be honest, if I keep doing the same sort of things that I'm doing now, I think I'll be in a really good place by this time next year. I'm working on my confidence, on my creativity, on my mindsets, and I feel like I'm on a good trajectory. But there's a part of me that's not quite content to let things unfold without some sort of direction and intention. Maybe I'll feel 20% more confident, I'll feel contented with where I am, but maybe I'll also wish that I push myself to strive for more. There's always a healthy balance to be found between being happy with how things are and dreaming of how things could be different. But I found that over the years, for better or for worse, I just love the process of building something, of self-growth, of expanding the boundaries of my comfort zone. And so now that I have laid pretty solid foundations for myself in this chapter of my life in London, I'm feeling that pull to expand my vision and really invest in future me, in you, to see if I can find more confidence in the areas that I find challenging, to test my capacity and to learn more about myself. I don't want to do that at the expense of the solid foundations that I've built, and I know that I still need to invest in them for them to continue to support me, but I'm also really curious about who I could become. At the moment, I have some time to figure out what I really want, and I don't want to waste that. I'm in between jobs at the moment, but I've got something lined up now, so I'd love to use this time for me and to set a really clear direction for where I want to be headed. So when did you last ask yourself what you really want out of life? I have a bit of a fear of living my life on autopilot. I want to be intentional with how I use my time, to choose for myself what I deem important, rather than mindlessly accepting other people's definitions and outlooks on life. I want to feel in control of my mind, to be able to use my emotions rather than them using me. I want to feel a deep sense of trust in myself, in my abilities, and have confidence that I can handle whatever life throws at me. It's less about having control over everything that's happening to me and more focusing on the mindset and the attitude that I approach things with, and trusting myself to be able to respond in the way that I want to, regardless of what those external circumstances are. And so my main goal and focus for the next year of my life is really just to work on my trust in myself. I think it's slightly more subtle than confidence, although confidence would be great too. But essentially, I just really want to trust myself that I can handle anything that comes my way, like I said. In a year's time, I'd love to see growth on my YouTube channel and to have built a community of people who want to live intentionally rather than on autopilot. I want to be clear on the value that I can offer to people and know how I can help, and to begin reaping the rewards of the work that I put into this channel. It will be so fun to just see more people engage with the content that I put out there, and essentially also just to develop my own creative practice and my own trust in myself. As well as this, I'd love to cultivate a more active creative process, and by this I just mean being more creative in my spare time, painting, going out and taking loads of photos, making these videos, writing stories, etc, etc. I find creativity very rewarding and good for the soul, so yeah, it's something that I definitely want to do more of in the next year, and just to be quite free and expressive with whatever I'm doing and not be too scared to give something a go, even if I think it's going to go badly. I'm definitely a bit of a perfectionist around that, so maybe just to loosen some of those perfectionist tendencies. Thirdly, I'd love to expand my comfort zone, to be able to feel more comfortable with trying new things and putting myself out there in ways that I haven't necessarily done before. I think I'll be documenting that process, so if that sounds up your street, then feel free to subscribe and follow along. And finally, I really just want to feel in control of my mind, to be able to regulate myself in different situations and to be self-responsible with how I deal with situations. And by that, I just mean not over-responsible and taking on things that aren't necessarily my responsibility, and also not under-responsible by not asking for help and not accepting help from other people. I think there's a really good middle ground, and I definitely find myself being guilty of being both under and over responsible in different situations. So I'd love to sort of practice finding that balance and just being self-responsible. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment and I'll be sure to do a video sort of expanding on that in more detail. And to my future self, I know that you're fully capable of achieving all of these things, and I'm just so excited to see where I'm going to be in a year's time. If this video resonated with you, then I would definitely recommend writing yourself a letter to your future self. It's such a rewarding exercise. If you do enjoy this sort of introspective video, then you might like to check out this one, which is me reflecting on everything in the last year by writing a letter to my past self. Or if not, you might enjoy seeing some snippets of life in London. This playlist here is a collection of all of the London diaries so far. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, lots of love. Bye.